All right. Settle down. 3, 2, 1. Yo. Oh, my goodness. Not what anybody... No one saw that coming tonight. I thought it would be tough. I know some of you knew that this game would be pretty tough, but wow. I could still... Wait for it. I can still hear bricks. in Fayetteville. Man, they're loud. They're so loud. I can hear that out of my not-so-good ear. Oh, man. Yeah. Hello, darkness, my old friend. All right. It's too early in the year to freak out, but that was disappointing. Okay. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe if you're new here. I appreciate you guys. Patreon supporters, you guys are awesome. We're currently trending up above 70 total members this month. That's a new record for Tuss Talk with Ty Patreon. If you want to join, please consider. There's a link provided for you down there somewhere, down below your screen. So consider joining. It goes towards helping out a true independent YouTube channel. Arky56 says you win some, you lose some. That's sports. Thank you, Dad, for pointing out the obvious. Thank you, Pops. I appreciate that. All right. Yeah, that one's a little tough to swallow. We'll get into all that here in just a second. First, a special shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. They offer same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, you name it. They're offering 10% off right now. That's 10% off any garage door repair. It's coming up, man. Winter's almost here. You want to get that taken care of. They've got you. Give them a call today. Their link is provided for you down below. 501-244-3667. I think I got the ad thing figured out. If you guys were here in our live show earlier, we had an issue with the ads showing up on the screen. I think I got that figured out. YouTube now, as just a normal thing now, when I go live, it's going to automatically monetize the show, which is fine, which is what I do. But then they select when the ads are going to display. So I went in and I fixed that, hopefully. If you get any ads, I apologize. YouTube just loves messing with stuff. Can we just ban UNCG from Bud Walton after tonight? Yeah, right? They hurt you pretty good last year, and we know what happened to Brazil. And then tonight, they walked inside Bud Walton Arena almost from tip-off. They absolutely they weren't going to lose this game. And yeah, I mean, it sucks. Mizzou, M-I-Z, whatever. In for life 9. Get out of here. Listen, bro, come back and talk to us when you can get out of the first round of the NCAA tournament. Huh? Come back and talk some smack when you can advance in March. We don't care about what you did during the regular season. Nobody cares where you finish in the SEC regular season standings. Nobody cares. March is what matters, Mizzou. Figure it out. But I do give respect. You guys know how I feel about Mizzou. I tip the cap to them. They came back from behind. They won. That was impressive. People will overreact because of the name. Yeah, this is, guys. First off, there are some people. Listen, this is college ball, dude. This is college basketball. I mean, these UNC. I told you guys earlier. If you were in my live show or if you watched that show from earlier, I told you this is the game that I circled. These guys are tough. They're good, and they came in and they played really, really well. What about second round last year? Whatever. Advance. Go on a decent run in March. Listen, I think Mizzou might be a sleeper this year. I hate to say it, but I know Hog fans will probably come at me on that, but yeah, I think they're going to be all right. We'll see. I could be wrong. This was not. I mean, where to even begin with this? Once again, I'm not really blown away by what's going on around the rim for Arkansas. Really tonight, like on both sides of the floor, but defensively they just seem to be like pushovers. which is so bizarre, but we talked about not having that big physical, Thor or Thanos looking bro. You know what I mean? Like they're just missing Thanos down in the paint. They're missing someone with some size and some physicality. He doesn't have to have a 39-inch vertical. He's just got to have big arms and be tough and physical, and they're missing that. Lawson at times looked pretty good, but, and again, that wasn't even the biggest problem. The biggest problem was absolutely perimeter defense. Their perimeter defense tonight. Once again, guys, I wonder what grades Musselman's going to hand out tonight. I think it's going to be F, 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 F. I mean, it was horrible. Shot selection early on, well, really about 75% of this game, shot selection was questionable. Trying to knock down the three ball, they were horrible outside, absolutely bad. Up until the final minutes of this game, they'd only hit one three-pointer in the first half, which came from, if I remember right, it was Ellis who knocked down the first one. It was Ellis because Mark went 0 for 2. Battle was 1 for 6 outside. Arkansas overall, 4 of 23. 4 of 23 shooting outside. Now, the thing I've been harping on all year long, or I say all year long, like it's been a long year, but since week 1, even going back into exhibition, it's free throw shooting, and they shot 80% tonight, but they got everything else wrong. They had a bunch of turnovers in the first half. In the first half alone, I think they had 10 first half turnovers, and they shrunk that down to 3 in the second half, that's phenomenal. If you can have 3 just turnovers in a single half, and you're knocking down your free throw shots, and you have any kind of rim protection at all, you have a shot against these guys. UNC Greensboro walked in here tonight looking like a 3 seed. That's what they looked like tonight. They came in, they looked fantastic. Not missing anything. However, I do think just some shots just would not fall for Arkansas. I mean, sometimes the ball just drops in the net, sometimes it doesn't, and tonight was kind of a mix of everything. Poor perimeter defense. I still think there's something's going on down low in the paint. I don't know what the hell's going on there. 10 turnovers for any half is bad, but then you turn around, you only had, I think it was 3 in the second half. That's good, but it's like there's too many red X marks, as far as bad. I didn't really care much for the shot selection tonight. Didn't really care much for what they were trying to do outside. Didn't care much for the defense out in the perimeter. And then yet somehow, you look at some of their numbers, it is a little bit confusing. Arkansas still ended up shooting 44%, 43.6% to be exact. But they were the killer tonight. It's either what they did in the first half with those terrible turnovers. Shot selection is obviously there, but 4 of 23, 17% outside shooting is horrendous. They did out-rebound you, but it's not like what you would think. You would think it was like 40 rebounds to your 25 or something, but it felt that way, but it was 31 rebounds to your 30. You did out-rebound them on the offensive boards as well. You had 6 offensive rebounds to their 5. But again, they just nothing. No shots were falling, and again, the perimeter defense was horrible. It was just they're struggling there. I don't think it's a shock to anybody. Appreciate the super chats in for Life 9. Appreciate you. Brady Lewis, thank you for the super chat. You guys, I really do appreciate that. That'll help out with how YouTube's messing around with the ad revenue here. UNCG is that lower seed team that knocks off a high seeded team, says Kyle Schrum. I agree. I'm not considering how bad Arkansas, the shot selection early in this game, settling for whatever three-point shot they could get for a good portion of this game, considering how bad they were at rim protection and overall defense, they still, they lost by 6 points. And defense is clearly the area here where what they've got to work on. It's kind of weird we're talking about how good this team is offensively or how good they've been, and yet their defense is what we're talking about that needs to be worked on. Now, when you look at, again, it's 48%. Visiting teams should not have this kind of success on you, man. 48% overall, 9 of 24. For a while, it felt like they weren't missing anything outside, but they end up 38%, which is still not bad off 24 attempts. And then they were about 74% at the free throw line. They ended up with 8 steals, just 1 block, 10 turnovers, 22 fouls. Both teams had 22 fouls each. I will say, I'm not putting this. It's not on the officiating, but I will say, my gosh, there were a lot of soft calls. I mean, Mitchell got into foul trouble early. It seemed like, you're getting a foul. You're getting a foul. The old Oprah Winfrey, you're getting a foul. You sitting at home watching this right now. The official inside Bud Walton just handed you a foul. And I thought Muss was going to get teed up. I really did. Arkansas, who continues to do really well blocking. They had 6 blocks tonight to their 1, which is not surprising. Defense is just, I'll be honest, where they're ahead offensively compared to where they were at a year ago, they're further behind defensively than where they were ever at last year. Now, they were, midway through conference time, the defense certainly had some issues. But it's looking too easy for teams, and it helps when you can open up the floor the way UNCG did, the way the Spartans did, the way they could open up the floor. They were knocking down, little pull-ups or little pull-up 15-footers, or, they're knocking down the 3-ball. And that kind of helps, and it softens up the inside. It forces Arkansas to spread out a little more, and it opened up some lanes, and it created some issues, defending around the rim. That's why they got some open looks. But this, I feel like tonight could have been prevented had they just played better perimeter defense. I feel like you probably walk out of here with a win. Again, tip your cap to UNC Greensboro, to the Spartans. They came in here. They weren't shook at all. They came into Bud Walton and they got a win. It sucks. I mean, I agree. A team like that, you wouldn't think. Someone said in Discord it reminds them of the Hofstra loss, and now Hofstra was a little bit higher scoring game if I remember right. But defensively, that was definitely a game where we walked away thinking, I think we're going to have some issues defensively. Obviously, as the year went on, what happened? They got better. Defensively, they got better, and they solved a lot of the issues. Listen. If it is true, if they say getting the wins out early in basketball matters, well then fine, you got this one out of the way. But I'm telling you, their defense looks several steps behind. It's not like they can't fix it. They've got athletes. It's just a matter of how long will it take for them to fix this, and what's going to happen. They've got some important games coming up. You've got some big, you got those games that are going to matter coming up right before conference play. So, Ty, that UNCG played the best game they will play all year. Yeah, you're probably right, Kyle. You might be right. But I think that's a possible tournament team. Like, I think it was you that actually may have pointed that out earlier. I think that's a possible tournament team that Arkansas just lost to. We didn't even have all of our play. Yeah, Graham did not play, and that is something to be said. He provides a spark coming off the bench. I wonder tonight, I got to say, I was curious if Battle was ever going to really hit a wall this year. Now, he was 6 of 8. He was 6 of 8 at the free throw line. 1 for 6 outside is horrible. 2 of 10 overall shooting tonight. That's 20%. That's horrible. And just 11 points. He turned the ball over twice, 3 fouls. He did have 6 boards tonight, but Battle, I don't know if 11 points with 6 boards is and 2 assists. If that's him hitting the wall, then I think that's not too shabby. Just 11 points. Yeah, I mean, you probably, I would have guessed he'd end up with 15 to 18 points, 15 to 20 points tonight. He came down to 11. But then you had Tremont Mark. He pulled up. Mark was the guy tonight. I mean, it felt like you talk about a spark. He ended up with 21 points, 2 boards, 3 steals. An assist with just 2 turnovers. Ellis kind of got it going. 4 boards, 19 points, 7 of 8 at the free throw line. Brazil, defensively, there's some questions here. Offensively tonight, he sat a little bit. I don't have his minutes in front of me right now. What did he end up getting? He got 29 minutes tonight. Ellis got 30. Devo played the 40. Devo provided you with some great moments. Mark had 38 minutes. Battle had 33. But Brazil defensively, I'm glad he's getting, he had 2 blocks tonight. He can alter shots. There's still just something funny going on with him on the defensive side of things. And I thought tonight he got exposed a couple of times. I saw him get lost and turned around at least once or twice. I don't know if that was him just – I don't know. Again, maybe Musselman will provide us with a little bit more information on just what's going on with Brazil defensively. Haven't been blown away by his again, he's pretty good at altering shots with his size, obviously, and his athleticism. He's got some blocks. He's killing it there. But block game doesn't necessarily make up the entirety of how you play defense. And Brazil right now, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not saying he's horrible at it, but I will say not impressive defensively for him. But again, you could say that about anybody. They just Arkansas tonight, who averages. I mean, what did we say they were earlier today? Top 25 of the country in bench points this year, averaging north of like 30-something points a game. Arkansas had just 13 bench points tonight, and guess what? They ended up with just a 9-man rotation. Pinion did get to play. If you missed it, he did play, not for very long. He got a whopping 3 minutes. Blocker got 2 minutes and was pulled just like that. So neither of those guys did anything, but there's a lot of film here for Musselman, and again, that's what you can get out of a game like this. Maybe someone said these guys bought into their own hype. Maybe they've been paying too much attention to the radio and the television. I know there's family members on the football team that watch this show. Maybe there's some family members on the basketball team that watched me and how excited I am for this team. And I listen, this game, defensively, I'm a little bit concerned, but I feel like knowing Musselman, he's going to get these things fixed. I mean, if this is a March team, which I still absolutely believe that it is, now you guys know we take this a week at a time, and if I change my mind, I change my mind. We do this every year. We've been doing this every year, but I still think they're a tournament team. But if we believe that this is a March team, he will get the defense fixed. It might come a little bit later, and you might lose a couple more games you don't expect to lose. But I think they will eventually figure this out. There's just too much depth. They've got a little bit more length to work with, and you've got older players. You've got experience on this roster. Brazil was seeing a ghost tonight. Could have been the case. I don't know. Charles Alvarez says always goes this way. What do you mean, Charles? Is that a is that you being a little pessimistic, or are you just saying, listen, they play this way early in the year? Because that is typical, right? That is typical. They struggle. They struggle early on in the year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You're not wrong at all. We're gonna post that there. So, I think we get to the Elite Eight this year, says Kyle Schrum. We'll see. They've got a lot of work, man. They've got a lot of work defensively, but I don't want to overreact to this loss, and I don't want to sit here and tell you that they're going to be just fine, 110%. Let's see here. Country Boy says, yeah. Country Boy, you and your takes, man. I swear you and Kopecky are the same person. I swear. Already ready for next year. That's just, man, come on. That's ridiculous. Dude, first off, this is a good team. I think and they may not be a tournament team, but the way they played tonight, that's a tournament team that they may have lost to tonight. These guys came in here. They were not fazed by Bud Walton at all. They weren't fazed by the number 14 ranked Razorbacks. They weren't fazed by any numbers on any screens or whatever. They came in and they played, man. It's just part of it. That's a good question, Charles. You're going to have to ask Musselman that. I don't know. I don't know. Brady Lewis telling Country Boy says you are free to leave until baseball season if you want. In fact, that would be preferred. Oh no. We're done. It's over. One loss in November and the season's over. You're not even going to let it play out. That's unfortunate. Mike Garrison. Honestly, I just don't give AF anymore. Arkansas excels at shitting the bed. That's too bad. Ty Brazil doesn't have the size to be a guard. No, but he's got length. I mean, I've seen plenty of guys with his size. They could play a little bit better down low. I'm not saying he's got to be an elite defender. He could certainly play better than he has. But I think his length plays a factor. We saw sparks of good defense. Camo Gang says this was a humbling loss. Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's what it does. Hopefully it humbles them just a little bit, right? Some of the meltdown comments. You're worried about rank, country boy? What are you, 16? It's who gives a shit about rank? Why do you care about rank? What matters is what you're doing in February. What matters is what you're doing in January and February. You lose a few more of these, it's going to really matter what you do in January and February. Hopefully they get it figured out. But flipping out this early in the year, just hold on. Let's let him fix it first. And then if we're seeing these same signs, if they haven't got this thing fixed by mid to late January, yeah, we're going to have a different conversation. Probably going to be me screaming into my mic, but I'm just saying, let's at least give them the opportunity. Yeah, they were missing Graham to a mid-major. Again, this is college basketball. God dang, some of y'all. Come on, man. Dang, Kopeski, you got timed out in Discord and in here, bro. Golly, hang on to that L, though. Muss on the hot seat. Yeah, he is. He's on the hot seat. It's becoming a trend with Muss and his teams can't shoot. Yeah, it's strange because they shot so well, north of like 35% in their first every game up until this point, at least the regular season games, and then tonight they were abysmal. There's just not really 4 of 23, dude. I mean, 17%. Maybe just stop trying to shoot the three. Just stop. I mean, Devo was 0 for 4 tonight. He just kept trying. Now Ellis made the first one. I think he made either the last one or the next to last one. He was 2 of 5. Battle was 1 of 6. Pinion was 0 for 1. Brazil was 1 for 4. Not across the board. Just shots didn't fall, and he played poor defense. Lawson tonight had some moments. I thought Lawson defensively had some moments. I mean, those big old long arms of his. I really hope we get to see more of him and get close to what he did in an exhibition game, right? I mean, let's see him get into that rotation and be someone who alters shots and racks up some blocks, right? He did have a block tonight, and he altered 2 or 3 looks. He had just 1 rebound, no points. That might be his role. What did he get minutes wise? What are they saying? What did he get? He got 11 minutes. I felt like he got more than that, but oh no, 1 loss. Who are we going to get? Ty, the bottom line is Muss will have these guys hitting on all cylinders late January, early February. He always does. All is fine. There you go. I mean, Jeremy summed it up for you. I think there's no reason to hit that big red panic button yet. Been a rough week on the Hill. Well, it's going to get rougher tomorrow night if they find a way to lose that, right? Trust me, this team is going to be okay. Did y'all not watch the Purdue game because some of you have forgotten we could play the top teams? And before anybody says it was an exhibition game, try telling Purdue that in the moment. That was not an exhibition game to those guys, and the coach said it himself. They want to win that game. That's what that was. Arkansas played great in that game. I do believe their ceiling is quite high. And that Purdue game, I think, showed us a glimpse of what this team could do. Absolutely. When these guys get some more Arkansas miles on them, they'll be fine. See, look at that. You know, it's a perfect balance. You know, we mentioned Thanos earlier. All things come to, you know, it's we're balancing it out a little bit. You got the people who overreact, and you got the folks who are like, hold on. Musselman has earned that respect that, you know what, even if they lose some games early in the year, he's going to figure it out when it matters, and that's what matters. Now you want to be a fan. Who are you talking to, Camo? Let's see, scrolling up. Look at last year. Everyone was still worried in February. Yeah, no, you're not wrong, Steven. You're not wrong. Yeah, February, it was, is this team, early February, it was, is this team going to make March? Are they going to make it in? And if they do, they're going to be a low seed. You know, how well built are they for March? That was certainly something being said. Now, again, you don't want to have too many of these, right? Especially non-con. You need to win. You need to win. Need to do a little better, you know, for sure. I want to know who's now you want to be a fan. Who are you talking to, Camo? But yeah, you can't afford to lose any more, or very many of these games, I should say, for sure. I would bet Muss will say it was turnovers on defense, says Leon Hayes. Well, I think he would say it's probably a little bit of all of it. Again, shot selection was highly suspect. Anytime you shoot 17% off 20-plus attempts outside, you know, when you shoot as poorly as they did in the first half, when you turn the ball over 10 times in a single half, yeah, I'd say that those all played a pretty big role. You know, only 13 bench points tonight. What has Arkansas's average been this year? I mean, they've been one of the better, you know, and mostly because of battle, sure, but you've had some other guys come off the bench and provide you with some spark. You didn't have Graham tonight, you know, and that's certainly something to consider. Arkansas did out they had more fast break points. They had 14 to their 6. They had 32 points in the paint to Arkansas's 30. You know, the more you look at these numbers, they nearly 2-1'd you on the assist board. They had 15 to your 7. They had double your steals, 8 to 4. The Arkansas just had a hard time capitalizing. And any time a shot would drop for the Razorbacks, these guys were able to respond. They were able to respond. I mean, it just they would cut into the lead. It was double-digit lead. Then they're able to cut it down to 5 multiple times in the second half. And then they're able to find a way to get some more points pretty quickly. Again, they looked, and I don't know that they will be. I would probably, if you asked me to put money on it, if you're telling me, Ty, you got to put down a G, would you say they're a tournament team? I would say probably. I guess put down a G on, yeah, I think they might be, even though it's still a little too early to say. They're going to fight, man. They're going to fight. And what they showed tonight is they had a little bit of depth, and they certainly were able to go toe-to-toe with you. I mean, they rotated the same amount of guys you did. They ended up with a 9-man rotation. Yeah, I don't know what did Davenport. What are his minutes like? What are your thoughts on Davenport? This guy gets 6 minutes and he did absolutely nothing. He got a foul and he was pulled, and that was it. That was the last we saw of him. We didn't see Bay fall. Fall never even touched the floor tonight. Oh, I see what you're doing, Camo. Okay, talking to Country Boy, joining emotional roller coaster instead of trolling. I get you. Camo says surprised. I was kind of hoping he would be, you know, he'd be that guy coming off the bench, you know, another guy that could get you some solid minutes, 8 or 9 minutes off the bench, find a way, you know. Ty, how about starting Battle and have Devo come off the bench? He seems to be pretty comfortable coming off the bench, though. You know, maybe tonight was just a bad night. Again, he had 11, which isn't, for him, that's down. For several other players, that would be a decent game. Your leading scorer tonight was Tremont Mark with 21. L. Ellis had 19. Devo ended up with double digits. I mean, you had 1, 2, 3, 4 Razorbacks in double digits. Almost, you know, Brazil had 9. You know, they were able to kind of respond. They were able to chip away at that big lead that UNC Greensboro had. that double-digit lead they had. Arkansas was able to chip it away, get it down, I think, to 4. I think they got down to 4. Was it 4 points? I know it was down to 5. They lost by 6, 78-72. They're able. I think it was 5. I don't know if they ever got down to 4 or not, but they were able to chip away, and it felt like, oh, here they go, especially under that 10-minute mark in the second half. You kind of thought, all right, now they're going to chip away at this thing. They're going to find themselves defensively. They're not going to give as many open looks, and they did. And I thought they did a decent job for a little bit there of slowing them down and causing a little bit of chaos outside. But then what'd they do? Little dump off down low to someone down inside around the rim. Easy bucket. Someone somewhere, because they were able to stretch the floor. Arkansas's perimeter defense has got to be better, especially with the lack of depth that Arkansas has inside with the bigs. Langley's Keyshawn Langley tonight for them was that guy was fantastic. 20, and he, I'll pull up his minutes too. What did he ended up? He ended up with 24, right? 24 or 29. Regardless, it's under 30 minutes. And he had himself a ball game. 23 points, 4 steals, 5 assists, 3 boards, just 1 turnover. He was 6 of 11, 5 of 8 outside shooting. When you've got someone on your roster shooting 5 of 8, and you as a team are 9 of 24 for about 38%, and you're shooting north of 72, 73% at the free throw line. Oh, and by the way, you're shooting 48% overall. You've got heavy bench production with Cezanu and Caesar, who had a couple of really good moments there. 4 boards, didn't get a ton of minutes, but he was 3 of 5 overall, 1 of 3 outside. You're able to stretch the floor. Everything just worked out for these guys, and they take a lot of shots outside. And you could tell Arkansas was cutting into that because of their play, and they obviously that was their adjustment in the second half, was to be a little bit more aggressive out in the perimeter and to chase those guys out of 3-ball territory. And it kind of worked for a little bit, but then again, what they were able to do is they were able to just dump the ball off down low and get some easy buckets. They had a response for everything Arkansas was trying to do, but it was all set up. It all started because they got red hot outside, and Arkansas just never could recover. They just could not recover. Again, tip your cap. UNC Greensboro, I'm going to bet they probably end up in the tournament, even though it's entirely too early to say. I was very impressed. They walked into a pretty hostile. Anytime you can walk into Bud Walton and control the tempo for 90% of the game and take the crowd out of it the way they did, get the kind of production from the bench, 2 guys, or let's see, only 3 guys for them in double digits. But again, the way the Keyshawn Langley played and Caesar got some quality minutes on the floor for him. Cezanu, they look like a tournament team to me. We'll see what they do. They got to stay healthy. I forget which Langley brother got hurt. I think they both, or at least I think it was Keyshawn Langley that ended up with the injury. Keyshawn Langley. But yeah, Ty, how about starting? I already read that. Hang on, let me scroll down. Blah, 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 blah. I like having Devo start for his defense. Surprisingly, has been by far the best avoiding turnovers. Yeah, that's right. He hasn't had a turnover this year. Did he have one this game? No. Devo continues. Once again, no turnovers tonight. He's there you go, man. Good for him. How many fouls? He only had 1 foul tonight. Is he softening up a little bit? I thought, in the last game, there were a couple times where it looked like he just didn't play really great D. Tonight, I think it was a little bit better, but not really, because they were able to create their own shots, get the looks they needed, and at times these guys played okay defensively, but most of the time UNC Greensboro just did a good job. They were able to move the ball around a little bit, get somebody open, and make the shot. Devo had 10 points tonight, by the way. It was 4 of 11, but he was again absolutely atrocious outside. 0 for 4 outside shooting. So, thank God I'm a Lumberjack fan and can celebrate a win. Hell of a game. Oh, okay. First half ended with 8 points more than turnovers. That's what happened. Oh, okay. Yeah. That was that program's first ever win versus an AP Top 25. I think it was their first win versus a SEC program as well. Shout out to Warren. Good for Warren. I don't have any score updates on the high school games. Fayetteville's playing too. Wait. Do they play? Hold on. Do they play tonight? I know they got the first round bye. I'm behind on high school football, y'all. I won't even lie. I haven't kept up at all. I know they had a first round bye. I don't know if they I'm looking for. Let me pull up some scores here for you guys really quick. It looks like you guys are talking a little high school ball. I'm actually curious. Let's see. Yeah, Fayetteville on top. Yeah, that's right. They had Southside. Fayetteville on top, 30-24. Conway, 63-38. Bryant, 42 over Rogers, 32. Bentonville, 42. Cabot, 14. You guys said Warren won. Yeah, they did. They beat Bauxite, 28-14. There it is. Ozark over Lincoln. Poor Lincoln. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't ever remember them being even decent in the 4. Well, now they're in 4A. 49-14. Oof. Shiloh Christian over Valley View, 42-30 in the 5A. Yeah. All right. I appreciate you guys. I know this one's rough. It's tough to swallow. I'm not bent out of shape over it. I mean, it's going to suck. Will I lose sleep over this? Maybe for about 15 minutes. And then I'll realize, you know what? I think they're going to be okay. They played like pure ass. They played like pure cheeks tonight, and they still barely lost. Yeah, you don't like losing to Bud Walton. I know that stings. That always stings a little bit when you lose to a mid-major or anybody in Bud Walton, especially this early in the year. But again, these guys, Arkansas couldn't make anything. The shots weren't dropping, and yet it was the opposite for UNC Greensboro. They had a little bit of luck. Yeah, I certainly believe there was way too many whistles in this game, and it really affected Arkansas. It affected both teams, but I think it affected Arkansas more. They just seemed like they had so many just soft calls on Arkansas tonight, but they were fouls. I thought the majority of them were probably okay. Yeah. Were there some 50-50 calls? Sure, of course there were, but both teams could complain about the officials tonight. A lot of they had, 5 offensive fouls in the first 4 minutes of this game? How often does that happen? I mean, it just was really tough, and I could tell Arkansas struggled to find any kind of rhythm early on in the first half. And you got to give UNC Greensboro, once again, you got to give them credit. They found a way. They did let Arkansas – there weren't a whole lot of open looks, I'll say that, and it was tough around the rim for them to get any kind of easy buckets. And you got to give Greensboro credit for that. So hopefully Arkansas can recover. I mean, it's only going to get tougher from here on out. You guys know this is about to get real. They're gonna go play in this battle for Atlantis. They're gonna open up against Stanford. Then game 2, they're gonna play either Michigan or Memphis. Wouldn't it be interesting to see them play Memphis? I know fans want that game. They want that matchup. So maybe they'll get it. But it's only gonna get tougher from here. And by the way, you come home against Duke, Furman might be as good as these guys that you just played tonight. So Arkansas's got to get it fixed. They need to get it fixed for this tournament. They need to get it fixed for Duke. They need to, you can't overlook anybody. Obviously, you never want to do that. There's also the argument someone made, and it might be a good take. Maybe maybe they did overlook these guys, and maybe this was a trap game. Was this a trap game for Arkansas? Would you guys say that this might have been a trap game? I think there might be some legitimacy because that's a thing in football, and it's certainly a thing in basketball because they know they've got Atlantis. My only thing about that is it's not until mid next week. So I could see the argument for this being a trap game, right? You just had this battle back and forth with Old Dominion, and then you had UNC Greensboro, and then you look forward to next week. But my only thing against that would be, well, yeah, but that's next Wednesday. We're not talking about – I know that's actually it feels like it's further away than it really is, but it's still – it's Wednesday. We're not talking about Monday or Tuesday. We're talking Wednesday. Talking about practice. I'm a man. I'm 40. Come after me. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow for the post-game show. You can't lose it. Sam can't lose it. I'm telling you, he loses it, he's out of here. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow night, a little later. Have a good rest of your Friday.